Man later arrested. ABC's Christiane Cordero has reaction.
Democratic and Republican members of the task force investigating the shooting have already requested a briefing from the Secret Service on yesterday's incident. There are now bipartisan calls to have Trump's security match that of Biden's. One Democratic representative saying anything less than maximum protection is a self-inflicted wound that puts our nation's stability at grave risk.
And President Biden and Vice President Harris releasing separate statements saying there is no place for violence in America.
All right. Welcome to the video live stream for the WSJM Morning Show. Good morning.
Good morning, Ken Lundberg.
I'm Ken Lundberg, and over there is Mike Weibel.
Here I am.
Filling in for Brett Witkowski today. How does it feel?
So far, it's okay. I adjusted
the chair's
chair
okay?
a little bit. I don't know how he sat in this chair with the arms so low, but
yeah, I know. I don't know. I get in here and you saw me. I was like leaning down all over the place, but
so he's not gonna like it when he comes back.
That's this chair. Right. Yeah, he'll get over it. But no, it's what are we looking at? 16th day of September already, and
crazy.
we're suffering from some crazy hot, intense weather. You like it though?
I do.
We're doing all right,
except for the rain. The
lack of rain.
My yard is not happy.
Yeah,
we kind of had a wet spring and wet fall.
Ruined all the cherries, all the tart cherries.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden it just shut off. So
yeah. Well, I was looking at lawns this weekend again as we were walking around the neighborhoods, and those who aren't watering, who made that commitment, it's like I'm gonna save on my water bill. Those lawns are crunchy.
I know it. And I keep.
Is your lawn crunchy? Are you doing that?
I'm trying to keep it going because I just keep looking, but like the 10-day forecast is no rain.
No rain.
Yeah.
We're and I thought we were going to get some rain from the hurricane that came and hit Louisiana.
Yeah.
But it just came up and then it veered off. Like, can't get a break.
No.
But that's fine. That's fine. They say it's going to be a wet winter.
Yeah.
Cold and wet winter. I think that's Farmer's Almanac.
El Nino?
I'm going to look because I know it's Nino or Nina, but whatever it is, it's
Nino,
the one that dumps a lot of stuff on us.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be back. We've got the video live stream going this hour. So join us. Feel free to comment, say hi, say good morning. We'll be right back.
40 or 400 people. Get ready to meet first-rate talent. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. Don't forget, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Finally, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
3 Americans among those arrested in Venezuela, which accuses them of plotting to kill President Nicolas Maduro. ABC's Matt Rivers with U.S. reaction.
They do acknowledge that there was a U.S. military member in Venezuela who has been arrested. What they say is that he was not there officially, that he was there traveling on his own personal time. He had no reason to be there, according to the U.S. government, and they categorically deny having anything to do with any suspected assassination attempts against Nicolas Maduro.
ABC's Matt Rivers. Mexico is reforming its constitution, now requiring all federal judges, including Supreme Court justices, to be elected.
This is a major victory for President Andrés Manuel López Obrador just 2 weeks before he leaves office. The popular leader argued the amendment was necessary to make judges more responsive to the needs of everyday citizens. But it says much about his personal clashes with the Supreme Court, which repeatedly ruled some of his actions unconstitutional during his 6-year term. Critics say this will weaken the judiciary, ending its independence while failing to address the country's challenges with corruption and impunity. Connor Finnegan, ABC News, Mexico City.
Heavy rain coming to the Carolinas. A tropical storm system set to hit near Myrtle Beach, South Carolina today, possibly as a tropical storm Helene. Which movie's dominating the box office for the second week in a row?
Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice.
Yeah, that one, since opening, the sequel has raked in $188 million. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
WSJM News Now. Team coverage from the WSJM Newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
And good morning. Welcome to Monday. It's the 16th day of September. I'm Ken Lundberg. My co-host today, guest co-host Mike Weibel, is in for the, I don't know if he's vacationing or filling in potholes or playing the sports ball or whatever. Brett Witkowski's out today. So Mike Weibel's here. Thank you for joining us, Mike.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. We've got a weather forecast for today that's not going to change for the next few days. It's going to be mostly sunny today and a high around 88 degrees. So it's going to be another hot one. We're having winds out of the east, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight's forecast mostly clear and a low around 58. So if you're thinking, oh, I'd like the highs to be in the mid 80s for the next 10 days and the lows to be in the upper 50s, lower 60s, you're in luck.
Ding, 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 ding,
Yeah,
ding, ding.
you're going to get it. So no rain in the forecast, at least through next Sunday. I see nothing. I mean, mostly sunny skies the entire time. I feel like I got sunburn this weekend.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You were out there. You have some color.
Yeah. No, it was,
Look at you.
It was warm.
Yeah. So anyway, so the weather forecast is not going to change. So we've got 61, some clouds outside in Benton Harbor right now, 62 in St. Joseph, and again, 60 degrees in South Haven. Buchanan reporting 58 degrees right now. The news that we're following this morning from the WSJM newsroom, if you saw it over the weekend, there was a big plume of smoke early. The former Gigi's grocery building at 861 Bus Avenue in Benton Harbor was destroyed by fire early yesterday, just before 7 o'clock. Multiple fire crews from Benton Harbor, St. Joseph, and surrounding townships responded to the fully engulfed blaze. No injuries reported. Excuse me. Prior to the fire, the building was boarded up and appeared abandoned. In the neighborhood, the building is tucked into a residential area just off South Fair Avenue / emergency I-94. One area resident was outside watching crews knock down the blaze. I talked to him, and he said when crews first started battling the blaze, they appeared to run out of water. And that was apparently, there were early reports of water pressure problems at the hydrants. So the fire crews smartly quickly brought in tanker trucks, and they brought those in to help supplement the water supply. They knocked down the fire eventually, but boy, did it put a big old plume of smoke into the sky.
Yeah. Oh,
did,
yeah.
Did you see it?
I did.
I mean, we started listening to the scanner because we heard all the sirens, Stephanie and I, and we were walking the dog, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, big, fully involved structure fire. At some point, they were talking on the scanner radio about being in a defensive posture, and
Wow.
you know when it's in a defensive posture, that means the building's gone.
Right.
The building's
They're
gone.
just trying to keep it from spread.
Keep it from spreading and keep anyone from getting injured. And they were quick to react, but at the same time, that building just went up in flames. And it's very close to some of the residential areas around there. So a lot of people were out and about that time of morning watching it. One of the people I talked to, he started smelling the smoke around 6:30 in the morning and just went outside and saw the whole thing was on fire. Unclear what caused the fire, so that I'm sure is still under investigation at this point. But the building was abandoned, basically.
And I'm sure the dry weather only
Right.
complicated things.
Absolutely.
Right.
No, that's a very good point. So that building a loss. Gigi's Grocery in Benton Harbor. Berrien County is entering the design phase for its new 911 and Emergency Operations Center in Buchanan. The county purchased a building at 500 Circle Drive in Buchanan from American Electric Power in 2022 with the intent of making it a state-of-the-art emergency response center. So they're headed to that direction. Berrien County Emergency Management Coordinator Rocky Adams tells us the new center will eliminate vulnerabilities that are faced by the current 911 center.
The current facilities need some updating. We're in some older buildings that are not designed to withstand some of the hazards in the community, and so we're taking some risks when it comes to storms or heavy storms that come through. Our building's just not designed to take that on.
Adams says the current center can experience outages, and the new Buchanan location will be more robust and operational 24/7. Also, he says staff from the Cook Nuclear Power Plant will have offices there so the county and the plant can better coordinate in the rare event of a disaster.
Ultimately, we have until June of 2027 to complete the project to totality, with that as construction, but we would love to have the design done probably mid-2025.
Adams says the county has been awarded a $3 million federal grant to pay for construction, although it isn't yet known if it will cover the entire cost. The project's total will be determined as part of the design process that's now underway. Adams notes all emergency operations of the county will move into the new facility at the same time when it is finished. The deadline for Congress to approve a government spending plan is coming up at the end of the month. Congressman Bill Huizenga tells us it's too early to predict if a government shutdown will happen, as an internal debate continues among House Republicans over a continuing budget resolution. He says the budgeting process has been approached all wrong in recent years.
The House has moved ahead with the vast majority of the spending bills. We've passed over 80% of all of the government funding has passed the House of Representatives in our appropriations bills. Unfortunately and sadly, the Senate has indicated that they're not taking any of those bills up. They're not going to do any of their own bills. They want to do one big giant omnibus bill at the end of the year. That's a terrible way of governing.
Huizenga says kicking the can down the road with more continuing resolutions puts the military in a bad spot. Then again, he says there will be someone new in the White House come January, so waiting on a budget until then will at least give the new president a say. Huizenga says most House Republicans, including himself, do not want a government shutdown. He says he's learned from past experience that they don't really accomplish much. And finally, Cornerstone Alliance is inviting the community to a block party to celebrate the completion of the Pipestone Alley Activation Project in Benton Harbor later this month. The project is an effort to transform the alley bounded by Pipestone Avenue, West Main Street, Colfax Street, and Wall Street into a community gathering space, complete with a ground mural, string lights, and new seating areas. The space is designed to foster a welcoming environment for all members of the community. Cornerstone Alliance will celebrate the completion of the project. They'll do that with an event on September 26th. It'll be held from 4 to 7 p.m. with food available for purchase. They'll have live music there and a chance for community members to mingle. The public is invited. You'll recall this project goes back to 2022 when Berrien County was awarded a $2.6 million Michigan Economic Development Corporation grant to make improvements in Benton Harbor and Niles with the help of partner agencies. Cornerstone Interim President Chris Frank says the project is a testament to their commitment to supporting and enhancing our local communities. So look for that event coming up on September 26th from 4 to 7 p.m. in the alley. It'll be fun. It's a colorful alley.
It is beautiful, actually.
It really is.
Yeah.
All right, 7:12 is the time. We've got sports from Dave Wolf coming up next. We've got other things as well. Mike Weibel is here. We're talking about a lot of fun things in the news. So we'll be back in a few minutes right here.
NFL Week 2 on Sunday. It was Tampa Bay over Detroit, 20-.
All right. Welcome back again to the WSJM Morning Show. I'm Ken Lundberg. It's 7:12. Mike Weibel is here, guest co-hosting today. How has it been? You're an hour and 12 minutes in. How are we doing so far?
Good. It's gone very fast, actually.
It does, doesn't it?
It does. It flies.
Yeah, it goes by very quickly. But Mike is here. He's a transplant from Stevensville. You still live over there, Stevensville?
No, I live in St. Joe now.
See, you wised up.
Well, I've got 2 kids that graduated from Lakeshore and 3 that graduated from St. Joe. So,
oh man,
yeah.
So you play both sides of the field there.
Yeah, you got to walk the tightrope. There's got to be a booster of all things.
Oh, that's fun. Good thing you have deep pockets.
Yeah, wow.
No, but we were talking earlier this morning about the second apparent assassination attempt against the former president, Donald Trump. If you're in the Secret Service leadership right now, are you looking forward to Monday morning?
No, you can't be.
I mean, what in the world?
Yeah, you I mean, it's what's that the saying, fool me once.
Right, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. Yeah.
So it's one of those deals of the first time you could say, wow, that was unfortunate. But the second time it's got to be like, how did he know they were going to be there? How did he know where to be if it wasn't on his schedule like we talked about before?
Right.
How did he know? And he's a contractor from Hawaii.
He's a contractor from Hawaii.
So how does he get to Florida, gets a AK-47, a GoPro, finds the bushes where the president.
But don't forget he's got like some makeshift bulletproof armor.
Oh yeah. And his home DIY bulletproof armor.
Yeah.
And
it's not easy to get onto Trump International Golf Course either.
No, I can
unnoticed with an AK-47 and a couple of bags of armor.
I don't know if you put that in a golf bag and act like you're there to caddy or what.
Yeah, I don't know.
But how he got there, and then as we mentioned, where's the drones? Where are the drones?
You know, that's a really good point because Mike, you mentioned earlier, it's like there's a lot of stuff on a golf course that can go wrong besides a golf game.
Yeah.
Alligators in Florida, for instance.
Right. Snakes, alligators.
Where were the drones?
You watch PGA golf. You watch PGA golf say about 3 times in the morning. They have a drone now that flies out and then marks the ball. So when people hit the ball and you see it, the color line flying in the air, that's a drone that goes out ahead of them and finds that.
Okay.
So if they can do that at the PGA level,
right,
you can't do that at the government level. We don't have drones for that.
Let's talk about that in a second. We've got to get back to the show here.
Okay.
The beaches at the lakeshore will be in the low to mid 80s. Winds will stay light. They're going to come out of the east direction. Tonight, clear skies will drop back down to 58. And then for tomorrow, mostly sunny. High temperatures still topping out in those middle 80s. Still low humidity. I'm Chief Meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
The Morning Show with Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
Temperature outside right now is 61 degrees in Benton Harbor, 62 in St. Joseph, some clouds around, 58 degrees in Dowagiac, South Haven reporting 60 degrees. Let's see, where should we start? I want to come back to the drones at some point because Mike Weibel, who's my guest co-host today, and I were talking about drones and maybe they were. We don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know. But the former president, another assassination attempt this over the weekend at his golf course in Florida. And it seems like very keen eyes of a Secret Service agent were able to pick up the barrel
Hats off to him.
of a firearm that was, who knows where it was pointing, but it was certainly within the range of danger for the former president. So,
and the person that took the picture of the license plate.
Yeah, the witness who saw him running away. And it's, so many questions, but I think the bottom line is if you're the leader, the new leader, interim leader, whoever they've got now at the Secret Service, I don't even know who's leading it now.
I would think at this point you have to consider yourself an interim.
Yeah, right. Yeah, temporary.
Yeah. I don't think you put your name on your desk yet.
Hopefully they didn't put a lot of things up on the walls in their office or in their desk. But now we were talking about the weather before we went to news. And one of the things that we're thinking about, because we've got nothing but sun and no rain for the next foreseeable future, forecasters have issued a La Nina watch for our basically the northern hemisphere, indicating that the cool phase of the El Nino Southern Oscillation climate pattern is likely to develop in the coming months, with a 79% chance it'll be in place for the northern hemisphere for our winter. So that basically means a wet winter.
Yeah. So I while we were in our break, I found kind of like the cliff notes to that.
Okay.
So it says impact of an El Nino winter is warmer October and November.
That's the El Nino, right?
Nina.
Oh, La Nina.
La Nina.
Okay.
Sorry. La Nina.
Okay.
Warmer October and November, equal chances of snowfall and colder weather in December, January, and then colder and snowier February and March.
Oh, colder and snowier.
Snowier.
So if you're looking for a time and a place to get away from,
you might book March.
February, March.
Or February.
So it's a La Nina.
La Nina.
So as I mentioned, for El Ninos, well, actually, I should probably change that around. For El Ninos, it should be tequila shots. And for La Nina, it should be a margarita.
Correct.
Because El Nino, that's the masculine. La Nina, that's the feminine. So margarita ends in an A. That's the feminine as well.
Right.
I don't know.
My 1 year of high school Spanish is...
You took 1 year, I took 2.
Did you?
I was dumb. Anyway.
They didn't invite me back after that 1 year. No.
No mas. No mas.
Yeah, exactly. No bueno.
Oh, boy. Speaking of foreign countries, Australia, Facebook is admitting that it scrapes the public photos. We probably already knew this. That Facebook is admitting it scrapes the public photos, posts, and other data of Australian adult users to train its AI models, and it provides no opt-out option, even though it allows people in the European Union and the United States to refuse consent. Yeah, Meta's global privacy director, Melinda Claybaugh, was pressed at an inquiry recently as to whether the social media giant was hoovering up the data of all Australians so that it can build its generative AI tools. Initially, they rejected the claim, but Labor Senator Tony Sheldon asked whether Meta had used Australian posts as far back as 2007 to feed its AI products. Ms. Claybaugh responded, "We have not done that." The Facebook representative could not answer whether the company scraped data from previous years of users who were now adults, but were under 18 when they created their accounts. But in June, Meta notified users in the EU and the United States that it would use their data to train its generative AI products, such as Meta AI, unless users opted out. You've seen these posts on social media, right?
Oh, yeah.
Where people are saying, hey, this is happening.
Right.
Unless you post this,
right,
your stuff is going to be used for AI. Does it concern you?
Well, is anybody surprised that somebody's gathering our data?
No.
I mean,
that's what these things are for.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's for somebody to be like, oh, they're doing what?
Yeah, right.
Where were you?
but that they're doing it with disregard for people's wishes. And I don't remember seeing the opt-in, opt-out for Meta AI scraping on my Facebook stuff.
No.
And what defines public posts?
Well, I guess if you stick it out there, it's a public post.
Right.
Right.
Because I mean, if my friends can see it and they can share it and everything's available.
The two sides of that. I mean, one is certainly an invasion of privacy, but
is it?
I mean, yeah, to a degree. I mean, your thoughts and whatnot, but when you take pictures of what you eat and what your dog did and all that, I mean, do you really think, is it that important?
Yeah.
I mean, is anybody building AI based on, what I had at dinner on Friday night?
I don't know. It is curious. I mean, because at the same time, you can also ask, well, what's the damage? I mean, as you mentioned, you want everyone in your social media network to know what you had or what cute thing your dog did, or
of course,
what how your cat ate the remote or whatever, because cats do that. Yeah, they don't do that.
No.
But
maybe yours does.
But yeah, I don't have a cat. Dog
not anymore.
Dog ate the cat.
For eating the remote.
Yeah, exactly. No, but I mean, if you put that stuff out there anyway, it's gathering the data for profit. Basically for profitable uses, and they're harvesting that data, they're turning it into what's called big data, and then they're repackaging it and selling it to others, foreseeably advertisers who will say, okay, well, you've got 20 million users who are interested in this pasta meal, this pasta dish here. We could give you access to those users. You could sell your product, your Parmesan cheese in a can to them, and that will, make you profitable. You want to buy that kind of thing. So they're using it for all kinds of big data purposes so they can make more money on our backs. Do we feel okay about that?
I don't know that you can stop it at this point.
No.
I just this morning I saw the new Google phone ad, and it shows a teenager dancing, TikToking.
Yeah.
And then you basically choose the mirror that was in the background of the girl that was dancing, and it tells you where to buy it.
Right. Yeah.
So it's just her post.
Yeah.
But it will tell you where at Walmart and how much it costs to get that thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's like they say, we're in a revolution of technology right now, not innovation. The world is going to change with AI. That's for sure.
Yeah. It's so crazy. Other things that are changing, the New York City mayor has lost a top legal advisor. This is not good.
Yeah.
New York City Mayor Eric Adams.
Warning.
The top legal advisor to New York City Mayor Eric Adams resigned abruptly over the weekend. Apparently the latest sign of instability at the mayor's administration as they deal with multiple federal investigations. Multiple federal investigations, as if one weren't enough.
Right.
City Hall announced that Lisa Zornberg departed late Saturday night. She advised Mayor Adams and other city officials on legal strategy for over a year, and often, parried legal questions from the press on his behalf. She was not his personal lawyer, just a lawyer for the city. And she said, "It's been a great honor to serve the city. I am tendering my resignation, effective today. As I have concluded, I can no longer effectively serve in my position. I wish you nothing but the best, Mayor Adams. See you later."
And another point of concern is she didn't resign at 5:00 on Friday.
Right.
She waited till nighttime of Saturday when everybody's home and the housekeeping staff are cleaning the offices to send a note of, by the way, I'm not here anymore.
Yeah. The resignation comes after phones of multiple members of Mayor Adams' inner circle were seized by federal investigators, including the head of New York City's police department, who resigned on Thursday.
Oh, boy.
Zornberg, who is a former federal prosecutor in the U.S. Attorney's Office, now leading some of the investigations into the Adams administration, was not one of the officials whose phone was seized. So that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Given her background and that her phone was not seized, maybe going along with the investigation there, or kind of, hey, if you look over here, there's a pile of papers over there to talk about this. The police commissioner, Edward Caban, resigned, citing the distraction created by the news media. Federal authorities have not disclosed the subjects of the investigations. Besides the police commissioner, phones were also taken from the head of the public school system, a top deputy mayor, and 2 top advisors to Adams on public safety issues.
Wow.
When's the last time you were in New York City?
See, I was there 2 years after 9/11.
Okay.
And then I was there pre 9/11, actually.
Yeah.
I rode the train under the World Trade Center and came out in that center area, and everybody told me you don't look up at the World Trade Center when it was there because somebody will pick your pocket.
Right. They all believe you're a tourist. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But at that point, I was like, I just stood out in the middle of the street and looked up.
You're
I was
a
like,
big guy. You can look up.
It kind of helps, that, at that point. But yeah, it was amazing. And then obviously to witness that, we've just gone through the honorarium of that horrible day. But
yeah, 9/11. That hard to believe that it's been 23 years.
That shocked me when I heard that.
Yeah.
It just does not seem that long ago.
It doesn't. It doesn't seem long ago at all. And to think that there are 22-year-olds out, 23-year-olds foreseeably walking around, did not experience that.
No.
Did not experience that.
And what life and technology was like 23 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you think of 9/11 now and you put it in today's basically setting.
Sure.
But 23 years ago,
yeah.
I mean, just
shocking. Yeah, I was watching live TV.
Yeah.
When it happened.
Yeah.
And there was a reporter talking about, because they had the first plane had struck one of the towers, and the reporter was live on the air with whatever the morning news show was, and they were saying, it looks like that has happened, and la la la. Oh, wait a second, another plane, and has hit the second tower. And the anchor at the time was saying, no, you must be watching something old. That didn't happen. That couldn't have happened. And so unbelievable that, in fact, it did.
I was waiting to go to work, and I had a guy come in to pressure wash my house in Lakeland, Florida.
Right.
And he was late and knocked on the door, and I opened the door, and he said, "I'm sorry I'm late. Have you seen the news?"
Oh.
And I was like, "No."
Yeah.
And he said, "Turn on the news." And that's when you saw the plane hit the second tower. And
crazy.
Yeah. Just
anyway.
It's a little bit of a downer for Monday morning.
Well, I think it's important to remember and important to talk about these things. It's, it may have been 23 years later, but you still, you wonder, oh, why am I inconvenienced by some of the security that's happening, or why this, why that? Well, a lot of that is because of what's happened in the past and trying to prevent something in the future. And as we were talking about, this comes full circle to the drones. As we were talking about, you don't want things to come to happen again, like attempted assassinations on former presidents.
Exactly.
And we saw that, and all the mistakes and all the happenings around Pennsylvania when Donald Trump was actually nicked in the ear by a bullet,
right,
which is just incredibly terrifying in itself. But now to understand that you had somebody with a rifle on a golf course in the middle of Florida, getting ready to take aim at the president, unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. And the whole drone issue, it's like, well, talk about the PGA. The PGA is just one of those many sports organizations that has drones.
Right.
And you can
flying over every hole.
They can tell you where the blades of grass are.
Exactly. Where the ball landed and how long it went, and forget about the guy in the bushes.
Yeah.
But
well, don't forget about him, because thankfully he's under arrest now. So we'll be talking more about it.
I did see that the person that took the witness getting in the vehicle, it was a Nissan SUV, I think.
Right.
When they stopped him, they flew that person to identify him. So they must have picked him up in a helicopter.
Yeah. I got a lot of helicopters in Florida. Easy way to get around.
They do.
All right.
But we have TikTok
Yeah.
And Facebook taking our information,
Yes.
which we're not happy about.
Right.
But we're happy when the cameras get the license plate and stop this would-be assassin on whatever.
Yeah, 95. So that's a really good point. We should probably talk a little bit more about that, about the Skynet.
Yes.
Let's call it Skynet.
Skynet.
That has a camera and an eye everywhere. And I mean, it helped in this case, got him right away.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about maybe what the privacy means of that. It's 7:30. It's the WSJM Morning Show. I'm Ken Lundberg. My guest co-host this morning is Mike Weibel. He's filling in for Brett Witkowski, who's taking the day off. Well, from here anyway. I know he's doing something else. He's always doing something.
He's doing something.
He's doing something. Yeah. Well, we've got our news coming up from ABC. We've got weather. We've got WSJM news. We've got sports. It's all coming up right here in just a couple of minutes.
So, you want a free checking account that pays you a high rate on your...
Man, I tell you, today especially, the time is just flying.
It is.
Time is just flying.
7:30 already.
Yeah, that the days following 9/11, when you saw no planes in the air,
right?
That was just so unsettling.
Yeah,
so unsettling.
How quiet it got.
Yeah.
And then it was a day or so afterwards. You talk about helicopter in Florida. My kids were in school, and there was a helicopter going over Lakeland, flying over, and they actually shut down the school early because they couldn't identify where it was coming from,
Right.
who it was.
Yeah.
So I mean, everybody was just in this total state of panic, but it was an unprecedented moment.
23 years later. Let's see. I do have a guest who's going to be talking about some stuff related to that. Let me see. Let me get out my schedule here. Okay. Tomorrow, if you're curious about guests who I'll have in the 7 o'clock hour, tomorrow I've got Reverend McAfee, who will be coming in to talk a little bit about Benton Harbor and some of the activities. Benton Harbor, Benton Charter Township, they've been dealing with the illegal block parties. They had a press conference last week. We'll talk about that tomorrow. George Kendall with LMC is coming in on Wednesday, and they'll talk about their speaker series, actually hearing from a former first responder who was at 9/11.
Wow.
So we'll talk about that. And then later on this week on Thursday, Michael Sleep is coming in. He's a candidate for Berrien County Commission.
Do you know people that were at 9/11?
I know I worked with somebody who was in the Pentagon when the plane struck.
Wow.
And I believe some of her office mates were killed in that attack. I worked in the U.S. Capitol for a number of time. I had an office up on the 3rd floor, and a buddy of mine still works in Washington, D.C., and he was in the Capitol at the time of the 9/11 attacks. And the plane that went down in Pennsylvania, they still think was targeting the U.S. Capitol.
Yeah, I would think that was pretty for sure.
And so he still feels lucky to be alive today. But when 9/11 happened, I was living in Seattle. I had just come back from Washington, D.C., and the urge to be back in Washington, D.C. Was never stronger. I really wanted to be, with my people.
Yeah, for sure. Wow.
Do you know anyone who perished?
I've got people that I know. Well, people that perished and people that survived it for one reason or another. I know one guy I went to high school with survived it because he stayed up and watched Monday Night Football and was late getting to work, and that's what saved him.
Saved his life. Yeah. Wow. Powerful. All right, let's continue the morning show. We've got the Bloomberg Market Minute on right now, and we've got a lot of good activity on our video live stream. So remind me, and we'll go back and find out what they're saying.
Okay.
In addition to good morning.
Okay.
Good morning.
Million subscribers. The company said DirecTV agreed to pay market-based rates to carry the channels. The Fed holds a 2-day meeting beginning tomorrow, and officials are widely expected to cut interest rates by at least 0.25 percentage point. Stocks rallied on Wall Street last week. Friday's gains ranged from just over 0.5% to almost 0.75%. Stock futures are narrowly mixed this morning. Gina Cervetti, Bloomberg Radio.
The Morning Show with Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
It's 7:34. ABC News is coming up next. It's 61 degrees in Benton Harbor, 62 in St. Joseph, 58 in Dowagiac, and 61 in New Buffalo. Forecast is just going to be this for the next 10 days, well, at least 7 days. sunny and clear. That's it.
Times 7.
Goodbye. Yeah, no, highs are going to be in the 80s. I mean, we're looking at a high of 88 degrees today, but mostly for the rest of the week, they're saying probably in the mid 80s for highs. And then the lows overnight are going to be around upper 50s, lower 60s, but mostly sunny skies for the balance. A few clouds here and there, but absolutely no precipitation in the forecast for
If
now.
you're a meteorologist, it's a great time to go on vacation.
Right. Yeah. Here, I'll just leave it with this fill-in person.
Right.
You just
print
just
off
read
today.
this.
Yeah. Here, just do this 7 times.
If it rains, you're fired.
Right.
All right. 7:35.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. President Trump hitting the campaign trail tomorrow, a day after another attempt on his life. Secret Service agents spotting a man with an assault-style rifle at Trump's West Palm Beach golf course where he was playing on Sunday.
Yesterday's incident comes just 2 months after the assassination attempt on Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania. After the shooting in July, the director of the Secret Service resigned, and Trump's security increased with bulletproof glass being set up at his outdoor rallies.
ABC's Christiane Cordero, a 58-year-old man named Ryan Routh, is in custody. Officials are looking into whether he was upset with Trump's position in Ukraine. TikTok is facing a hearing in Washington today. The owner of the Chinese company denies allegations that the app can be used as a propaganda tool and is fighting in order to either sell it or be banned. Mediation efforts begin tomorrow between Boeing, its union workers, over a new contract, and Shogun winning big at the Emmys last night, taking home 18 prizes. This is ABC News.
WSJM News Now. Team coverage from the WSJM Newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
Got about 61, 62 degrees out there in Benton Harbor, St. Joseph. I'm Ken Lundberg. This is the WSJM Morning Show. Mike Weibel is here. He's my guest co-host today. We've got some news from the WSJM Newsroom, and then we'll check in for state news with the Michigan News Network. And then Dave Wolf will round us out with some sports. In the news that we're following today, the former Gigi's Grocery building at 861 Bus Avenue in Benton Harbor was destroyed by fire early yesterday, just before 7 o'clock. Multiple fire crews from Benton Harbor, St. Joseph, surrounding townships and villages responded to the fully engulfed blaze. No injuries reported as part of that fire, but prior, the building was boarded up and appeared abandoned. In the neighborhood, the building is tucked into kind of a tight residential area just off South Fair Avenue. One area resident was outside watching crews knock down the blaze, and he said crews first started battling the blaze, and then all of a sudden they appeared to run out of water. There were early reports of water pressure problems at the hydrants. Tankers were eventually brought in to help supplement the water supply. The building appears to be a complete loss. No word yet on the cause, so that's under investigation. The Van Buren County Sheriff's Department responded to a domestic violence call over the weekend where the suspect was allegedly trying to murder his spouse. Sheriff Daniel Abbott reports it happened early Sunday. Deputies were called to the 36,000 block of 24th Avenue in Bloomingdale Township. Deputies say the 49-year-old suspect attempted to kill his wife with 2 kitchen knives and then physically assaulted her inside the residence. The female retreated outside, but there the suspect continued the attack. The victim was eventually able to get away and hid in a shed on the property until deputies arrived. The suspect reportedly was uncooperative, eventually was taken into custody and lodged at the Van Buren County Jail for assault with intent to murder. The victim was transported to the hospital for medical treatment. Alcohol believed to be a factor in the incident. The case is still ongoing. And 2 local beaches have new signs to reinforce water safety around the piers in St. Joseph. New warning signs at both Tiscornia and Silver Beach were installed Friday, thanks to the area's Rotary Clubs, the Kiwanis Club, and local historian and real estate agent Chris Siriano. We'll tell you a little bit more about that story and why those signs are up. That's coming up at 8 o'clock this morning. It's the WSJM Morning Show. We've got more coming up, sports, in just a moment after this.
The Michigan News Network.
I'm Beth Fisher. And hit the cruiser. Police say 3 juveniles were in the car and 1 was injured. Police say the officer has injuries that are not life-threatening. A tragic update to a crash involving a state trooper. 45-year-old motor carrier officer Daniel Kerstetter is being taken off of life support after being hit by a car during a traffic stop on Friday. Officer Kerstetter joined the force in 2023. He was married with 3 children. Investigators
Yeah, if you see as you're driving along, whether it's on the interstate or on a highway or anywhere else, you got to move over.
Oh, yeah.
You got to move over, whether there's a car with just a sticker on it that says, hey, this car's broken down, or if you see emergency lights, or if you see a truck, a tractor trailer, you got to move over. And this person, who knows what they were doing? We're talking about the one that was over in the Detroit area. They went full speed into the back of a state police cruiser. And now both the driver of that vehicle that caused the crash and the state police officer dead.
Horrible. It's just horrible. And you see the stuff on YouTube and whatnot where people just plow into vehicles,
because they're on their phones a lot of the time.
Exactly.
Probably making the TikTok videos.
Exactly.
Anyway, good morning. Let's see where we're at here. Good morning to our wonderful people online watching the video stream this morning. Bill says good morning. John says good morning. No, he says good morning. Good morning, everyone. Let's see. Teresa says good morning, and she also says she's never been to New York. Teresa, you should go. Wait till they get a handle on crime, though.
Yeah. Wait a little bit.
I think the time span that you mentioned you went, and when I went, they had crime under control.
Yeah.
It was nice.
It was very nice. Walked through Times Square. There was police officers everywhere. Didn't really think much about it, actually. But now, not so much.
Yeah, not so much. I have a son who goes to college in Ithaca, and I every time he says I want to go to New York for the weekend, it's like, okay, go with a make sure you're in a pack of friends.
Right.
Make sure you're not doing anything silly like walking around in the middle of the night, and stay off the subway.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll give you extra money for the Ubers.
Right.
Let's see. Teresa says good morning. She's never been to New York. John says, good Lord, please protect former President Donald Trump. Teresa says, I was at work listening to WSJM. I think she was talking about when 9/11 happened.
Oh.
And she said that was scary. John said, I went to school with Reverend McAfee in the 80s at ECHS. And let's see. John's also glad that no one was hurt when the fire personnel were putting out the abandoned building fire. Yeah. So Stephanie and I, to continue that story, Stephanie and I were enjoying our Sunday morning, heard the sirens, heard the scanner, decided to go take a drive over to see what was happening. And as we were coming, kind of driving by the turn, kind of near the courthouse, the turn from St. Joe into Benton Harbor to get on the bridge, saw this big line of clouds that we hadn't seen in the skies for some weeks because of our weather.
Right.
And it's like, well, that isn't clouds, that's smoke. And so the smoke, if you'd seen it at the time, was very thick and it was very dark, meaning typically that the fire is well underway and uninhibited. And it had just created a line of smoke across the horizon, basically flowing from the east to the west. So the winds were easterly, and it wasn't very high either.
No.
And then once we started driving even closer, I got concerned because once you set something on fire, you don't know what you're smelling, what kind of toxins are in the air.
Exactly.
Fortunately, this was just a grocery store, so hopefully not a lot of toxins.
Well, probably that flat roof on it, probably a tar roof.
Yeah, the tar roof, and who knows what kind of insulation they had in there. But we got there and the thing was still fully engulfed. I posted a video up on Facebook of some of the activity, but people standing there just saying, yeah, I mean, it was just up in flames, and they lost water pressure at some point.
Not a good thing.
Because of the hydrants over there.
Right. And as we said, with this dry weather for the past 4 or 5 weeks, it's just got to complicate. The wood dries. It's old building, and then it just gets dried out.
Yeah. It's already dry. It's ready. It's tinder.
Right.
Did you have a good weekend?
Did.
What'd you do?
Played golf.
How'd you do? Where'd you play?
Harbor Shores.
Okay.
Not good on Saturday. not good. But far better on Sunday. So, yeah.
Okay. How long have you been playing?
I played in high school. I probably played into my 30s, and then in my mid 30s, I had started having degenerative disc issues in my back.
Oh, okay.
So they recommended me to stop
Oh.
swinging the golf club.
Okay.
And then in 2011, I had back surgery.
Okay.
And they told me I would probably never play golf again.
Oh my goodness.
And so I didn't play for.
So you Tiger Woods it.
Yeah.
Woods it.
Yeah. So I didn't play for another probably 6-7 years.
Okay.
And then a good friend of mine, Eric Seaman, said to me, let's join a golf league. And I'm like, I don't even know if I can do that. And he's like, let's give it a shot.
Oh boy.
And I actually started off playing back at Berrien Hills.
Okay.
And got back in it again, and I love it. So,
Nice.
and the back is fine.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
I mean, because of the surgery and the exercise and everything?
Yeah.
Okay.
Surgery. I had L4 and L5 fused, and
yeah,
that wasn't fun. But at the same time, I'd gotten to the point where my left leg was always numb, and I used to park. I worked at Fifth Third at the time. I would park downtown to go into the main building, and I would have to get enough speed going across the parking lot to get my left foot over the 6-inch curb. Because I had to pivot and swing it up on and if I couldn't, I had to turn around, walk back across the parking lot, turn and get enough speed to be able to get
you're
up.
kidding.
No, I couldn't climb a 6-inch curb at that point.
Wow. That's a pain.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm glad that is now rectified.
Yeah. What would they have done? What would you have done 50, 60 years ago before they did stuff like that? And
got a cane.
Yeah, and been just a hunched over old guy. But I'm just an old guy.
Well, thank goodness that you can get back out there and support the golf ball industry. How many you lose on Harbor Shores?
It depends on the day.
I will tell you, the last time I played Harbor Shores, which was probably I don't know, maybe a decade ago, played there. And on the first hole, I think I lost 3 balls.
Easily.
Yeah. I mean, because the grass is so tall.
And every hole, there's a place to lose a ball.
Yeah.
You play a lot of the courses in town, like Michigan Hills.
Yeah.
You can hit the ball 3 holes over, still find your ball and hit it back to where you're going. But that does not happen at Harbor Shores.
No. When it's a cow pasture, you can criticize, the bland landscape, but it is easy to find your ball.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
We used to play out in Washington, D.C. at Haynes Point.
Okay.
And if you know Haynes Point, it's basically a cow pasture. It's very flat. It's right on the river, the Potomac. And if the water rises too much, the course is very wet. So not a lot of people like to go out and play there. But it was very convenient if you were on the hill and just had a few hours to
go jump down there and play a little bit.
Jumped out, and they had a wonderful driving range as well.
Oh, yeah.
Double decker. You just go, and $6 you get a bucket of balls and just go. Now let's see. Oh, the coast has silence. Okay, sorry. That's the fries are done.
Oh,
well,
really?
Truffle fries out in the hallway.
Fries?
Wouldn't that be great?
Wow, that's good.
No, that's the silent sense alarm. But no, we used to go out there, and in fact, Haynes Point was so central to Washington, D.C. Whenever there was an aerial event over Washington, you could go up there and watch it. And I did. As a reporter, I went over there, stood on the second story, and took my camera one day because I knew the space shuttle was flying by.
Oh, wow.
Because they had the space shuttle on the back of an airplane
Yeah.
to get it to the Dulles Museum. So that was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was always a visual of, you see that space shuttle piggyback on it.
Yeah. So just sitting up there, just, and then I got my golf club and just hit some more balls.
Well, there you go. Hey, what a great afternoon.
All right. It's 7:48. What are we doing here? I've got Moody on the market to prepare for in a second. And what else are we doing? We've got a couple more things to talk about. All right. Mike, you having fun? Is this good?
Oh, yeah. It's been good times. Good
Yeah.
times.
You have anybody listening today?
I know.
That's the requirement. You have to bring people to listen to the show.
Yep. I know Marcia McAmer is listening this morning.
Hello, Marcia.
So I know she's out there and she's making Dave listen
Oh,
because of this
Hey,
morning.
Mac.
Yeah. Mac is listening, and got some other people out there that I'm assuming are listening, but you just never know. They
Okay.
might have hit the snooze bar and rolled over.
Oh boy. All right. Well, we'll talk about, let's see, what do we got here? We'll figure out what we're talking about on our Moody on the Market update. That's coming up in just a moment.
Eagle Casino and Sports. Made in Michigan, made for Michigan.
Must be 21 or older and in Michigan to play.
Hey there, it's Johnny, and my friends at the Berrien Community Foundation are keeping themselves very busy this week with their annual meeting and celebration coming up on Wednesday. They're going to be giving away over $200,000 in one night, announcing the Carolyn's Kids, Alamar, and Stephen E. Upton Love Your Community grants, along with the Golden Acorn Volunteer and Excellence Awards. Now, those are going to be given away, but there's also some grant opportunities that you need to know about. The For Good grants. Now, the For Good grants is a program where grants are small and large, $15,000 and for a major grant, and then a minor grant up to $1,500. And deadline for that coming up here very soon. Also, the Frederick S. Upton Foundation final grant deadline is October 15th. Lots of things going on, including ways that you can also support the Silver Beach Playground Project and so much more. If you want to learn more about how you can help your community through the Berrien Community Foundation, whether it be volunteering or setting up a grant or endowment yourself, feel free to reach out to them and check out their website too, berriencommunity.org.
Mostly sunny skies today. We're looking at high temperatures inland around 88 degrees. At the beaches at the lakeshore will be in the low to mid 80s. Winds will stay light. They're going to come out of the east direction. Tonight, clear skies will drop back down to 58. And then for tomorrow, mostly sunny. High temperatures still topping out in those middle 80s. Still low humidity. I'm Chief Meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
The Morning Show with Ken Lundberg on WSJM.
All right, 7:51, just 9 minutes before 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock, we'll have the latest from ABC News, and then the latest from our WSJM newsroom, and then sports with Dave Wolf. A lot of sports activity over the weekend. All right, it's time for our Moody on the Market update. It's brought to you by Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today, your local auto owner's insurance agency in St. Joseph and in Niles. And we have a special guest co-host this morning. It's Mike Weibel. And thanks for joining us, Mike. We appreciate
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And one of the things that you do when you're not giving out great financial advice is you are a member of the board for Lori's Place.
Correct.
So why don't we use our Moody on the Market update today to talk a little bit about Lori's Place. What is it and what kind of great events do you have coming up? So first off, Lori's Place. For those who might not know, what is it?
So Lori's Place began kind of as a spontaneous reaction to a trauma that happened in our area. Lori Schultz was a physician, was on her way to a hospital one morning in November. Well, actually, I believe it's not November when it happened, September. Anyhow, she was on her way and was tragically killed in an automobile accident and left her husband and two small children behind, a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old. Lisa Bartosik was worked for hospice, but had been doing study on child bereavement and was a neighbor. And so came over, offered to help because they were family friends,
Right.
Was actually part of talking through what had happened to their mother, to the children. And then out of that kind of became a recognition there was a need for a child bereavement center,
Right.
which in communities of our size is not something that happens very often. It's something in big cities, but not something in here. And it was definitely a grassroots. There was about 6 or 7 people in town. Ron Schultz, Lisa Bartosik, Craig Hubble, Bill Marone were some of the beginning people that kind of put together the grassroots effort to raise money, to acquire a building and to start what is now Lori's Place. And it is helping for free, helping children and now families of those who have passed away and need help walking through that grief process.
What a great service.
It's amazing when you look at the statistics of child trauma and how that affects the adult lives of those children without some type of help walking through that trauma. The numbers are not good. And when you have kids that have that type of support, it's amazing how they not only learn how to process that grief, but also become so much more emotionally stronger in dealing with other things that happen in their lives. So it's a huge benefit. Lori's Place does not charge anything for anybody to come in. If you know of somebody that is in that situation, whether they're a child or an adult, and need some type of grief support, have them call Lori's Place and talk to somebody, and they're there to help you. And it's an amazing thing to have. Even they've started, I think last year they started the homicide support group.
Okay.
For those that have lost people through homicide. It's just been a amazing thing. And over the past 20 years, we're celebrating our 20th anniversary.
20 years.
20 years. So November 15th, 20 years ago is when the doors opened. And this year, November 15th, will be our official 20th anniversary and also our reflections banquet. So it's our banquet we have every year to talk about what we've done in the past year and press and look forward to the year coming. And also now to celebrate this landmark event of 20 years of helping our community. We're in over 4 counties now that we reach out to. And the stats are we've helped over 60,000 people in that 20 years that have received some type of support through Lori's Place.
Wow.
So it's just, and the need could never be greater than it is today.
Yeah, that's unfortunate that such tragic incidents and events happen, but to know that there's a support system in place already and established for 20 years in our region
yes.
is very, very comforting to know. If you want more about information about Lori's Place, there's a website. There's also the Facebook, the social media pages, and others. You can check it out. Lori's Place, celebrating 20 years. That's fantastic.
20 years.
Okay.
Stephanie Kohler-Pagan is the director. She's been there for 16 years. She has a team of 6 support staff, and they do all this work on a weekly basis, which is just amazing.
We appreciate them. Yeah, absolutely. We appreciate them. And I'm sure we'll be talking more with and about Lori's Place as they near that celebration for the 20th anniversary coming up in November. All right, that's your Moody on the Market update for today. Moody on the Market update is brought to you by Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today, your local auto owner's insurance agency in St. Joseph and in Niles. We'll be back with more in just a moment.
My friends swim no matter the season, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. Now, thanks to Skyrizi and clear skin, count me in. With Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine. Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Okay, sorry to leave you hanging there, Mike.
That's all right.
The fries were ready, and someone had to get them out of the oil.
We don't want them overdone. That would be horrible.
No. Our rock and roll station WIRX was having a silence alarm go off, and so, as I suspected,
it was
somebody left their microphone on, and they didn't hit play on the next thing.
Oh,
so it was just sitting there.
That's a good alarm to have.
As long as somebody pays attention to the alarm that isn't on this radio station,
right? Especially on rock and roll.
Brock.
Yeah, Brock.
He was probably watching football and overslept.
Oh yeah, come on, Brock.
Anyway, all right, we've got to time things out and get back to our news for ABC. Hey, thanks for joining us on the video live stream today, and thanks for welcoming Mike as well.
Thank you very much.
Hope you're having a good time here. We've got another hour left. You game?
We do. Oh yeah.
Okay.
We feels like halfway through, but we're 2/3 of the way through.
All right.
We're rounding the corner.
Thank you for joining us. Have a great week, and we'll see you tomorrow on the video live stream, and we'll keep you updated on other kind of news things that are going on. Gosh, I tell you, the Secret Service head's got to roll.
Yeah, how can it not?
Yeah. So we'll be following that this week. I'm sure we'll get more developments. Thanks for joining us. It's the WSJM Morning Show.
Join St. Joe today at this year's Fall Fest, Saturday, September 21st, 9 until 2.